Upon rebooting the Mirror Light after completing the game, we come across the option to go on a retro vacation. If we select yes, we come across Quintessence, the Lost Chapter. I don't know what this is. I mean, I know what kind of game it is. It's kind of like Pac-Man. So, while you watch me play this game, this bonus game that is unlocked by beating the game, I wanted to talk a little bit about the different interpretations of the Mirror Light and the symbolism in it. So, my personal interpretation of the game is that the birdie was some sort of plane, some sort of biological weapon. This is sort of supported by the symbolism of the pesticide and the world map being destroyed and the sort of like foreign espionage theme of the secret room. And Leah then in that case would, despite the fact that she's represented as a 10-year-old girl because this is an RPG Maker game, she would be someone who was perhaps involved in the use of that biological weapon or knew someone who was involved. And then of course the person on the phone would be her contact, perhaps, CIA contact or something like that, who is warning her, who is maybe some kind of spy or something cool like that, not to trust the bad guys, the birdie. But I came across a statement by the author that, and he described this game, The Mirror Light, not this stupid anime game, about he described the game as a faceless girl in a faceless world, and so that sort of implies a desensitization, and so there, and also sort of the way that the world gradually fades away over the course of the game has also led to other interpretations that Leah is suffering from some sort of disease or mental disorder that is slowly decaying her mental state. So then her suicide at the end would be because of that decayed mental state and not out of perhaps guilt for causing any sort of genocide. And I think that's an interesting interpretation as well. There are a lot of interpretations I found on Tumblr that invoke Leah's parents as sort of characters in the game, that maybe Leah's mom is the one that's calling her. I don't really know, and I think that's maybe reading a little bit too much into the symbolism in the game, and well, really adding things that aren't there in order to make it make sense. But I think that the game obviously was not created with the intent to make sense. I seriously doubt that it was created with a particular narrative in mind, like, that they were like, oh yeah, this game is totally about genocide and chemical weapons. It seems like a lot of these kind of games are specifically made to be ambiguous, which I don't know if I like it or not. I think it's it's certainly interesting, but ultimately, if even the creator didn't have a particular meaning in mind or a strong meaning in mind, then kind of what's the point? I think it limits the amount of enjoyment that can be taken out of from the game. But on the other hand, having sort of these layered meanings is interesting. That it can be interpreted as something about global war, or it can be interpreted as a very personal story about someone succumbing to some sort of disorder or disease, which that's interesting if that was on purpose. And now we're getting to the end of our little anime game. I hope that this anime game has answered all of the questions you had about all of the deep and multi-layered symbolism in the Mirror Light. I'm still not really sure what the mirror is, and I think that would be worth discussing. The only mirror I can think of would be the fact that there are mirrors in a microscope. But there aren't actually any mirrors in the game, and I'm still not entirely sure what that refers to, so I would welcome comments and additional theories. I think the more theories the better in this kind of game. And also, much like the Mirror Lied in this anime game, we cannot escape our fate, and we are killed by evil anime faces. Thanks for joining me.